Happy morning, learners. I hope that you are all fine, safe, and healthy. I have a strong hope that you are spending these holidays in a very useful manner. By maintaining a small garden in your balcony, or by learning a new language, and surely by helping your mother in her household chores. Isn't it? Fine. Those who are not started these things, try to start. What is the main thing here is to be fit and healthy. To keep yourself fit, yes, do some simple exercises. And for healthy body, yes, take healthy food which contains whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and as well a lot of water. In last class, we saw the difference between the words look, squint, stay, and glare, isn't it? Yes. I hope most of you use that in your conversation. Fine. How I'm going to sharpen your knowledge this week? I'm going to sharpen by giving alternate. Now you have a question, isn't it? Alternate for what? I'm going to sharpen by giving alternate phrases for the phrase you are welcome. Okay, I'm going to sharpen by giving alternate phrases for the phrase you are welcome. Are you ready, children? Where we use this phrase you are welcome? Yes, we use this phrase that we are response for thank you. Aren't you get bored by saying this for a long time? But I got bored by using this phrase. So I got an alternative phrases. I want to share some alternative phrases with you. Are you ready for that? Yes, here we go. Let's see some thoughtful alternatives to you are welcome. Okay, first thoughtful alternatives to you are welcome. When a person thanks you for something that you did for them, it's always appropriate to respond with a thoughtful phrase to acknowledge the person who has expressed appreciation. Okay? When a person thanks you for something that you did for them, it's always appropriate to respond with a thoughtful phrase to acknowledge the person who has expressed appreciation. So you can say, always glad to help. What's the first phrase? Always glad to help. Second, the pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. The third thoughtful phrase, I'm always here to help. What's the third thoughtful phrase? I'm always here to help. Fourth one, pleased to be of assistance. Okay, pleased to be of assistance. Next one, it makes me happy to help you. It makes me happy to help you. So these are some thoughtful alternatives to phrase you are welcome. What are they? Always glad to help. The pleasure is all mine. I'm always here to help. Pleased to be of assistance. It makes me happy to help you. Next, casual alternatives. Many times, close friends or family members are the ones who seem to say thank you the most, isn't it? Yes. That is because you're always happy to step up and help a friend or relative. While it is important, it is important to acknowledge their thanks. So you may want to opt for a fun and relaxed way of saying you're welcome. First one, don't mention it. Okay, the casual alternatives. First one, don't mention it. Second one, no problem. Second one, no problem. Third one, no worries. Okay, no worries. You would do the same for me. Fourth one, the fun way to say you are welcome. You would do the same for me. Just returning the favor. The last one, just returning the favor. Next, responding to thank you for a gift. So anytime we give someone a gift. Yes or no? Yes. Anytime we give someone a gift, we expect the recipient to say thank you. We expect the recipient to say thank you, either via spoken communication or a thank you note, whatever it is. So when a gift recipient expresses thanks in person, okay, when a gift recipient expresses thanks in person, it's polite to respond with "you're welcome." Okay, what are the alternative phrases? First one, happy to share. Okay, you can say happy to share. Next, I hope you enjoy using it. The second phrase, I hope you enjoy using it. Next one, I'm so glad you like the gift. I'm so glad you like the gift. Next, you can say put it to good use. Put it to good use. Next one, a special gift for a special person. Really? It sounds good. See, a special gift for a special person. So, children, these are some of the alternative phrases to replace the phrase you're welcome. I hope that hereafter you are going to use one of these phrases in your conversation and impress the person who is going to say thank you, isn't it? Fine. One thing you should keep in mind, use the phrases according to the situation. Okay, because I gave you a lot of phrases, so you can use according to the situation. This is the second part of your class. So in this part I'm going to explain the lesson from your supplementary reader. Yes, An Alien Hand. The name of the lesson, The Tiny Teacher. Whom we called as a tiny teacher? Yes, ants are called the tiny teachers. Why we call so? We call so as they teach us hard work, sense of duty, discipline, cleanliness, and care for their young ones. The ants are called teacher because we see many things doing them in our daily life, from which we can learn many things. Let us learn many things about this tiny teacher in this lesson. Are you ready, children? Yes, let's get started. Let me tell you about ant colony. The term ant colony describes not only the physical structure in which ants live, but also the social rules by which ants organize themselves and the work they do. Ant hills are familiar sights. However, these mounds are not actually ant colonies. Instead, they mark the entrance and exit to the colony. These mounds are made up of dirt, sand, and other materials. The ants must remove as they dig the underground tunnels and chambers in which they nest. In fact, most ant colonies stretch deep underground, some even as deep as 25 feet. Ants are truly fascinating creatures. Don't believe me? Here are some interesting facts about ants I'm going to tell you that will definitely change your mind. Ants have Superman strength. So, this amazing strength is a result of their small size. Believe it or not, because of their small size, ants' muscle have a greater cross sectional area relative to their body size compared to large animals. This means they can produce more force. Clear? So, ants have superhuman strength because of their size. Second fact, ants don't have lungs. What? Don't they have lungs? You are surprised, isn't it? Yes, they don't have lungs. Then how they breathe? Here is the answer for that question. Ants breathe in oxygen through spiracles, which are a series of holes located on the sides of their bodies. Are you clear? Ants breathe in oxygen through spiracles, which are a series of holes located on the sides of their bodies. The movement of the ant helps the oxygen to circulate through the tubes. So the movement of the ant helps the oxygen to circulate through the tubes. So ants don't have lungs. Next fact, ants don't have ears. Ants don't have ears. Unlike other pests such as rats, ants don't have ears. But that does not mean they are deaf. They use vibrations to hear, using them when foraging for food or as an alarm signal. Okay, unlike other pests such as rats, ants don't have ears, but that does not mean they are deaf. They use vibrations to hear, using them when foraging for food or as an alarm signal. Next fact, there are a lot of ants in the world. Okay, so the phrase a lot is an understatement when describing the amount of ants currently in existence. It is estimated that there are around 1 million ants for every one human in the world. Okay, it is estimated that there are around 1 million ants for every one human in the world. Ants have pretty much conquered the entire globe, with the exception of Antarctica, the Arctic, and a handful of islands. Ants are farmers. You may be thinking, what? But it's true. Besides humans, ants are the only creatures that will farm other creatures, just like we raise cows, sheep, pigs, chicken, and fish in order to obtain a food source. Ants will do the same with other insects. The most common occurrence of this is with aphids. Ants will protect aphids from natural predators and shelter them in their nests from heavy rain showers in order to gain a constant supply of honey dew. Ants have two stomachs. That's right. Ants have two stomachs, and it is not because they are greedy. One of their stomachs is for holding food for their own consumption, and the second one is to hold food to be shared with other ants. Okay, so one of the stomachs is for holding food for their own consumption, and the second one is to hold food to be shared with other ants. So, ants have two stomachs. Ants can swim. Can ants swim? Well, not all ants can swim. It depends on the species, but they do have the ability to survive in water by using their own version of the doggy paddle and can also float for long periods of time. Ants are amazing survivors. Do you know that? Not only can they hold their breath underwater for long periods of time, but they will also build lifeboats to survive floods. Next interesting fact about ants are slave makers. This may sound strange, but hear me out. Some species of ant are known as slave making ants. They invade neighboring ant colonies, capturing its inhabitants and forcing them to work for them. This process is known as slave raiding. Next fact, ants can lift 10 to 50 times their body weight. Already I told that ants are so small. Because of that, their muscles are thicker relative to their body mass than in larger animals. This allows ants to carry objects much heavier and bigger than them. Last but not least, ants are as old as dinosaurs. Ants first rose around 130 million years ago. First, let me give you the introduction. The Tiny Teacher is a story that teaches us about the tiniest teacher we can learn from. It tells us about the ant who can be a great teacher if we look closely. An ant is a creature that can teach us great things about how to become disciplined and more. They are so small yet they fulfill duties with full dedication. They carry out that task very sincerely. Further, they are also very hardworking and intelligent as well. You will see them perform a lot of duties from a cleaner to a soldier. The ants inhabit ant hill where there are hundreds of little rooms and passage for all the ants. They have a queen ant who lay eggs that become perfect ants. The queen learns all the duties from the old ant and gets ready to survive in the world. Thus, they are creatures who teach us a lot of great things. Next, the summary for the topic. The story of the tiny teacher is about an ant's life which is totally remarkable. It is the smallest, yet the wisest creature we see in our daily lives. They live in comfortable homes that have hundreds of little rooms and passages. In some of the rooms, the queen ant lays eggs, where the rest of the rooms are nurseries for young ants. The house of the ants is free of quarrels as everyone carries out their duties peacefully. We see how each ant has certain duties and they do it responsibly. Thus, they all lead peaceful lives. In fact, there are people whom we call ant keepers that keep ants as their pets. They do so to document their daily behavior and observe them closely. Ants have feelers which they use to communicate or greet other ants. Although the red and black ones are the most common types of ants, there are various types of ants. The mother of the entire population of ants of a colony is the queen ant. The queen ant has got a pair of wings that it gets rid of after the wedding flight. Soon after, it lays eggs that go through the life cycle from grubs to cocoons and finally perfect ants. So we see how it takes around 5 to 6 weeks to complete this procedure. Next, the soldier ants guard eggs on becoming grubs. Similarly, the worker ants then carry the grubs for airing, exercise, and sunshine. The new ants take on the job of soldiers, builders, cleaners, and more. The small ants receive training for a few weeks before going out to work. Thus, we see how they work in such a systematic manner. We can learn so many things from this tiny teacher, whether it is hard work, sense of duty, care, discipline, or anything. They are great teachers. You will never watch ants fight with each other as they are very disciplined and loyal. Thus, they may be little, but they are very significant creatures teaching a great deal to everyone. Now it's the explanation time. I'm going to explain the lesson. For that, I want all of you to keep your book with you. Okay? The tiny teacher. Though so very small, the ant is unbelievably intelligent and hardworking. Among the various kinds, the commonest ant is black or red. Ants live in comfortable homes called ant hills. The first para. Name the smallest insect you have seen and the wisest. Is it the fly? No, it isn't. Is it the mosquito? No, not the mosquito. Then it must be the worm? No, none of these. It is the ant, the commonest, the smallest, but the wisest insect. The story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue, but people have kept ants as pets and have watched their daily behavior closely. So, we know a number of facts about this tiny, hardworking, and intelligent creature. So, if someone asks us to name the smallest and the wisest insect, what will be the answers? Fly? No. Mosquito? No. Worm? No. So there is a smaller and wiser insect than all of these. The most commonly seen insect, ants. The story of an ant is unbelievable. Ants have been grown as pets, like how people grow dogs and cats. By having ants as pets, they were able to see the ants' daily behavioral activities. That is how we have come to know a lot about ants. Second para. An ant uses its feelers or antenna to talk to other ants by passing messages through them. Watch a row of ants moving up or down the wall. Each ant greets all the others coming from the opposite direction by touching their feelers. So, ants use their antenna to communicate with other ants. When we see a row of ants passing up or down a wall, they greet the ants coming from the other side by touching with their feelers. Next para. There are many kinds of ants. The commonest among them are the black or red ones. We have seen them since we were children, but haven't paid enough attention to them. Where do they live? In the comfortable homes called nests or ant hills. Each has hundreds of little rooms and passages. In some of these rooms, the queen ant lays eggs. Others are nurseries for the young ones. Workers have their own reserved quarters. They spend most of the time searching for food. Some rooms serve as storehouses for this food. Soldiers have separate barracks. No worker has ever tried to live in a soldier's house. No soldier has ever gone out searching for food. No worker or soldier or cleaner has ever armed a grub. So, you see, an ant's life is very peaceful. Each does its share of work intelligently and bravely and never fights with other members of the group. So, there are many kinds of ants. We have seen red and black ants since our childhood. These are the most common ones, but we have not given much attention to ants. Where do ants live? Nests or ant hills. Ant hills are comfortable homes where there are hundreds of little rooms or chambers for each class of ants and different activities. Some rooms for queen ants. Queen ants lay eggs in these rooms. Some rooms are nurseries for the young ants called grubs. Some rooms are reserved quarters for worker ants who spend time searching for food. Some rooms are storehouses for food brought in by worker ants. Some rooms are barracks for soldier ants. Worker ants will live only in their quarters. Soldier ants will not go in search of food. Soldier or cleaner ants never harm any small ants. All their places and duties are clearly classified, and therefore an ant's life is very peaceful. Each ant does the work allotted to it clearly and bravely. It does not fight with other members of the group. Next, the queen is the mother of the entire population of the colony. It lives for about 15 years. It has a pair of wings but bites them off after its wedding flight. This flight takes place on a hot summer day. The queen leaves the nest and goes out to meet a male ant or drone high up in the air. On its return to earth, it gets rid of its wings and then does nothing but lay eggs. So, this paragraph explains a queen ant is a mother of the entire colony of ants. It lives for about 15 years. It has a pair of wings with which it flies above in the air. It meets with the male ant called drones on a hot summer day. On its return journey, it sheds its wings and comes back to lay eggs. Next paragraph. Eggs hatch and grubs come out. Soldiers guard them. Workers feed and clean them and also carry them about daily for airing, exercise, and sunshine. 2 or 3 weeks later, grubs become cocoons and lie without food or activity for 3 weeks more. Then the cocoons break and perfect ants appear. Now it's time for teaching and training. New ants learn their duties from old ants as workers, soldiers, builders, cleaners, etc. After a few weeks training, the small ants are ready to go out into the big world of work. So, from this paragraph, what we learn about the ants? Once the eggs hatch, the grub comes out. The soldier ants got the grubs. The worker ants feed and clean the grubs. The workers carry the grubs daily to get air, sunshine, and exercise. After 2 to 3 weeks, the grubs become cocoons. The cocoons lie without food or any activity for another 3 weeks. Then the cocoons break and ants are born. These ants start their training period. It learns their activities and duties from older ants as workers, soldiers, builders, and cleaners. After a few weeks of training, these ants are ready to face the world. Next paragraph. An ant hill is a home not only for ants but also for some other creatures, beetles, lesser breeds of ants, and the green fly. Why do ants want these alien creatures to live in their nest? For several reasons. Some give off smell pleasant to the ants, others give sweet juices, and some are just pets or playthings like cats and dogs to human beings. The green fly is the ant's cow. The ants train it to give honey dew with a touch of their antenna. Their milk is just as we milk the cow. This paragraph explains an anthill is a home for the ants as we have seen earlier. But only ants live in it? No. Other creatures that live in an anthill are beetles, lesser breeds of ants, and green fly. The ants do get good favors in return from these creatures. Is it clear? The ants do get good favors in return from these creatures. That is why it allows such unfamiliar beings in its nest. Okay, so the following are the benefits to the ants. Some insects give off pleasant smell to soothe the ants' senses. Some insects give sweet juices. Some are like toys or pets for the ants. So, these are the benefits that the ants get from these creatures. What are they? Some insects give off pleasant smell to soothe the ants' senses. Some insects give sweet juices. Some are like toys or pets for the ants. Green fly. What is that green fly? So the green fly is a creature which lives in the ant hill. So what is the use of the green fly? The green fly to ants are like cows to humans. Okay, the green fly to ants are like cows to humans. Humans get milk from cows. Ants get honey from green flies. It's clear, children? Human gets milk from cows. Ants get honey from green flies. The ants train the green flies to produce honeydew if touched with their antenna. Next para. Have humans learned as much as ants have? Perhaps they have, but they haven't put their learning to good use. They may still learn a few things from this tiny teacher. Hard work, sense of duty and discipline, cleanliness, care for the young ones, and above all, a firm loyalty to the land where they live. This paragraph tells us that the ants seem so wise. What about humans? Have we learnt as much as the ants? Maybe we have learnt. We are not putting it into practical use. We still have a few more things to learn from this tiny teacher called ant. What are the things? Hard work, sense of duty, discipline, cleanliness, care for the young ones, and last, loyal to the earth that we live in. Finally, the lessons that we learnt from the ants are: ants teach us to be brave. Ants teach us to ignore little diversions. Ants teach us that the next generation is everybody's responsibility. Not only that, ants teach us that knowledge should be shared. Next, ants teach us to adapt to our surroundings. Let us do the book exercises. Now take page number 3, comprehension check. First question: the story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue. So the italicized phrase means. So here want to write the meaning for the phrase almost untrue. The given options are: first one, highly exaggerated; second, too remarkable to be true; third, not based on facts. So what is the meaning for the phrase almost untrue? Yes, the first option, highly exaggerated. Second question, complete the following sentences. First one, an ant is the smallest gap. Second, we know a number of facts about an ant's life because gap. Now the answers are: first one, an ant is the smallest insect we have seen. Okay, an ant is the smallest insect we have seen. Second one, we know a number of facts about an ant's life because people have kept the ants as pets and watched their behavior closely. What is the answer? People have kept the ants as pets and watched their behavior closely. Third question, in what ways is an ant's life peaceful? In what ways is an ant's life peaceful? So the answer is, the ants live in peace because each one does its share of work honestly, wisely, and bravely. They don't interfere in the work given to others. They never fight in their group. So, the ants live in peace because each one does its share of work honestly, wisely, and bravely. They don't interfere in the work given to others. They never fight in their group. Next, comprehension check, page number 5. First question, how long does it take for a grub to become a complete ant? How long does it take for a grub to become a complete ant? This answer, the grubs take in 3 to 6 weeks to become cocoons and then to be a complete ant. Okay, the grubs take in 3 to 6 weeks to become cocoons and then to be a complete ant. Second question, why do the worker ants carry the grubs about? Why do the worker ants carry the grubs about? So the answer, the grubs are carried about daily for airing, exercise and sunshine. The grubs are carried about daily for airing, exercise and sunshine. Third question, What jobs are new ants trained for? What jobs are new ants trained for? The answer is the new ants learn their duties from old ants as workers, soldiers, builders, cleaners, etc. So the new ants learn their duties from old ants as workers, soldiers, builders, cleaners, etc. Fourth one, name some other creatures that live in ant hills. Name some other creatures that live in ant hills. Some other creatures that live in ant hills are, what are they? Yes, beetles, lesser breeds of ants and the green fly. Okay, so some other creatures that live in ant hills are beetles, lesser breeds of ants and the green fly. I hope in today's class that you learned a lot about the tiny creature ant, isn't it? So that's all today's class, children. Meet you in the next class. Until then, be safe and be healthy.